Before we continue with the rest of the video, we could use your help. Click that like button to help spread the word about watchJojo, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Felonious fathers in jail hug their children for the first time. Now watch their faces. 8-year-old Arkinya Graham has grown up without a dad. Sure, she'd spoken to him on the phone and they'd gotten close, but they'd never met in person. Her dad, after all, had been in prison for second-degree murder for most of her life. But for a precious few hours on this day, she got to meet her father for the very first time. And it was magical. Sadly, Graham's is not a unique story. Indeed, in prisons across the U.S., thousands of fathers are serving time for their crimes. Their children then have no option but to grow up without a dad. Scotty Barnes was another of these kids. Certainly, her father had spent most of her early life behind bars, and when he failed to return home after one particular stretch in the clink, the then 6-year-old understood that he didn't want the responsibility of fatherhood. Fast forward 14 years, and the 20-year-old Barnes finally tracked her father down to a prison in Atlanta, Georgia. However, it would still be a further 21 years before she'd hear him say the words that she'd long wished for: "I love you." And feeling blessed with this gift of reconciliation, Barnes didn't want to see kids going through what she'd suffered. Therefore, as co-founder of the Forgiven Ministry, she set up the One Day with God initiative. The program operates across 7 states and offers the chance for male or female inmates to rebuild relationships with their children. So far, more than 10,000 kids have been temporarily reunited with their parents. For little Arkinya Graham, then, it was a chance to meet her father she'd never known. Indeed, her parents had separated before her birth, and by the time she was 2, her dad had been incarcerated. Furthermore, Graham's parents had lost contact years ago. But fortunately, her mom, also the daughter of a felon, tracked the father down to a Michigan prison. Soon after, daddy and daughter began to forge a relationship over the phone. Jakesha, Graham's mother, told Nightline that she was one of those kids. And so, struggling with the stigma, the single mom saved up to fly herself and her daughter from their home in Florida to Michigan. What's more, Johnny Trey Williams, Graham's father, had been something of a changed man since learning of the One Day with God scheme. But he had to prove it in order to be one of only 20 participants in a prison with 1,300 inmates. Of course, before the reunions, prisoners are required to attend a seminar that teaches the value of being a father. And Williams, who had never met his daughter, may well have needed it. In fact, the day of the reunion was scheduled to be full of the types of activities that fathers might share with their kids in the outside world. Certainly sports, games, singing, and for the girls, a daddy-daughter dance were all on the agenda. Initially, though, Williams and his daughter were allowed a moment prior to the activities to get acquainted for the first time. And although the nerves were apparent, not even the prison bars could hold back the joy of finally meeting his daughter. Critics of the program might question why convicts should be allowed such a privilege at all. But for Barnes, the scheme is all about the kids and giving them a special, never-to-be-forgotten opportunity. Indeed, Barnes described the children as the silent victims to ABC News. She added that many, unfortunately, go on to repeat the crimes of their absent fathers after being taken in by street gangs. The Department of Justice has also said that prisoners' children are 6 times more likely to serve time compared to kids with non-offending parents. It's stats like this, then, that highlight the importance of Barnes' initiative. In fact, when Graham got into trouble at school, it was her father, having established a powerful dad-daughter relationship, who was able to pull her back into line. For the kids, then, spending time with their incarcerated dads is truly valuable. For the felons, meanwhile, it's a chance for them to change their ways. Spending time with their children gives them a taste of what they're missing. It's therefore an incentive to not get into trouble again. "I missed everything," Williams, according to ABC News, told his daughter. "You being born, I wasn't there to kiss you or to cut the umbilical cord. I wasn't there to see your first steps. I wasn't part of what you've achieved so far. But now I can't wait to be part of what you achieve in the future." For Graham, an important bond was forged. And as the day ended, she didn't want to let her father go. In fact, she later told her mom that rather than heading to Disney World on her birthday, she'd rather go see her dad. Please don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to receive everything that's new.